The Kingdom of Hyrule was once a place full of life. A kingdom of opportunity for the civilians, a diverse society all working together, growing communities, developing technology, and uniting as a kingdom. Well, this was all before the attack of Calamity Ganon. Storytelling aside, the Kingdom of Hyrule before Calamity Ganon's brutal attack was a much different place. Hyrule Field was perfectly safe to take a stroll through and maybe stop by the little ranch near town, but now a stroll there is a death wish. My point is, the kingdom was a much more peaceful and relaxed environment to live in. However, we don't learn or get to know much of what this mighty kingdom once was. Judging from the sheer size of the kingdom and the amount of towns, cities, settlements, and everything else, it must have been one glorious kingdom to live in. Unfortunately, we don't get a single glimpse at life at all before the calamity, and that got me curious to what life was actually like in what I'm going to call Ancient Hyrule. So think of this like a history class, but for Zelda. Alright class, today we are looking at Ancient Hyrule. Although we don't really see what life was like in Ancient Hyrule, we find out a lot of evidence towards what it was possibly like. During our quest in the game, you see a lot of destroyed things. Like, a lot. Needless to say, Hyrule before this brutal attack had a lot more to see. Let's take a look at a village that was once full of life. Not far from the Great Plateau, across the river Hylia, was Dea Village. A fairly small village that looked like any old village. It was right below the breathtaking landmark the Dueling Peaks, and was hidden away by tall hills surrounding it, along with a beautiful lake on the other side, known as Dea Lake. We find Dea Village flooded in the game, and you can see what was once the ground fairly well through the shallow water. By the looks of things, it's likely Dea Village ended up like this due to flooding from the lake. Huh, you don't say. Calamity Ganon's attack had a lot of destruction to it, and easily moved land around. For a village to end up in these circumstances, it would require some serious force. The village and lake looked to be connected, but due to Ganon's destructive force, it completely flooded and merged the two, destroying Dea Village and, unfortunately, wiping out its people. This is just one of many examples of villages that once had a peaceful life, but were sadly caught up in the malicious attack of Ganon. Ancient Hyrule would have had roughly 5, 6, or maybe even 7 towns more than what actually managed to survive the attack. Okay, now depending on how far back you go, there could be different circumstances on who is and isn't alive or present in the royal family. I'm going off whilst Zelda and the king were still alive, before the signs of Ganon's return really showed. Thankfully, due to a few cutscenes, we do get a very small look at the royal family, and their home, Hyrule Castle. However, that's not too helpful to figuring out what their life was like. I mean, we all know they have duties, such as decision making, deploying out soldiers and whatnot, but what else did they actually do in their time? Well, it's likely that the king and his daughter Zelda attended a lot of events. These could vary from gatherings within Castletown to public speaking in the cities and towns in faraway regions. Kings in real life did this too, way back in the medieval days, and Zelda games have a fair reputation of making real life connections. So it's fairly likely that the king and Princess Zelda did travel the land to attend events. They probably also visited the Colosseum often to watch the battles. Again, something that kings or leaders would do in the past in real life. Take the Romans for example. They had literal gladiator battles that their leaders would watch along with the civilians, and they could get pretty ugly. Now, the Romans would throw in slaves and prisoners to battle against lions for example. Now in Hyrule they probably threw in prisoners, or those that fought against the royal family, and made them face the likes of Lionels, In ancient Rome, they would put the odds against the prisoner, equipping them with weak armor and sometimes no weapon at all, basically setting him up for defeat. So that's some of the things the royal family would have likely done back then. Alright class, I think that's enough for today's lesson. We will eventually return to this topic in the future. The main thing to take away from that is that Hyrule was once a glorious kingdom, constantly moving forward, growing, developing, until the evil that is Ganon returned to the land. My question to all of you is, was Hyrule in its old state before the Calamity the best and most powerful period the kingdom has ever had? I've created a poll up in the top left corner for you to leave your answer, and also be sure to explain your answer below in the comments. I really hope you enjoyed looking into the ancient land of Hyrule with me, and perhaps we will one day see a game that is set in this time period, and get a look at the glorious kingdom it was during this time. We will return to this topic a lot more in depth very soon, but for now, be sure to join our Discord server, leave a like if you enjoyed, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.